As Kurt Busch fans, we are all desperately waiting for his return after he suffered a concussion at Pocono Raceway on July 23. But things don't seem even till now because Kurt Busch has recently announced something that we were not ready for. So, what is so shocking that Kurt has decided? Want to know? Then stay tuned to Racing Rush till the end. But before we begin, do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for more such updates. Kurt Busch was the first driver to experience the consequences of weak safety features in NASCAR's next-gen cars. Regrettably, he was the first proof of the hits that drivers had complained about, and as a result, he was forced to miss the majority of the 2022 season due to symptoms that were similar to those of a concussion. For the benefit of those who are unaware, Busch has been actively attending the races whenever he has been able to, where he has sat with his team and observed. He still hasn't been allowed to compete in the race, which is quite unfortunate. However, he was covered by Ty Gibbs throughout the regular season, and Bubba Wallace took over for the playoffs. However, the crew chief for the number 45 team, Billy Scott, was the one who was at the center of it all. During the course of the season, he has collaborated with 3 different drivers. Of course, it demands some respect, and Busch believed it was his responsibility to make sure he was appreciated. But as we were waiting for Kurt Busch's return, he recently announced something that we were not ready for. At Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Busch said he will stop racing full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2023. He also said he won't race again in 2022, but he left the door open for him to race part-time for 23XI Racing next season. Busch, who won the Cup in 2004, got a concussion in qualifying at Pocono on July 23, just after Earnhardt praised him. This led to the decision. The doctors thought it's best for him to stop for the season, Busch said from the media center at the racetrack. And even though he has made significant progress, and even though he has been working with all of the top specialists, and even though the crew at the Toyota Performance Center, he is not still 100%, and he is still not approved to race. So, he'll stop competing full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2023, so he can keep working on his health and get cleared. His long-term health is his top priority, and he doesn't think it's in his or the team's best interest to commit to competing for a championship next year at this point. In May, the driver of the number 45 Toyota won at Kansas Speedway, making it to the playoffs for the 10th straight year. Since the accident at Pocono, Busch hasn't been able to race, and the pain from his crash caused him to pull his medical waiver for the postseason. But Busch made it clear that the crash at Pocono wasn't the only thing that mattered. Nearly 3 months after his last crash, Busch talked about the problems he's still having as he continues to get better. For the first 3 weeks after the accident, he worked hard. That emotional week was really hard, especially when the playoffs started and they weren't approved, Busch said. He wasn't ready for how this would make him feel. No one is ready for anything like this, but mostly the movements in his head. So when he moves his head and torso and his heart rate goes up, things move quickly from the back of his head to the front of his head. So it would be like looking in the rearview mirror, then turning around to look at the competitors and the dashboard. It would feel like things are moving quickly, and the pace of life is slowing down, and he has started remembering things, although he knows he is not at his best. So when he thinks about my concussion, he really thinks about the vestibular side. For Busch, this is the next step in a 22-year Cup Series career that has seen him win 34 races, win the first championship in the playoff era, and win the Daytona 500. Busch, who is 44 years old, gave an update on his health on September 27 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He said he was hopeful about racing again this season and talked about how his recovery from the Pocono crash was going well. On the other hand, his possible return date was still unclear. Busch said he feel good and he don't know when he'll be back. Time has been the hardest part. This is in the hands of Father Time. Do you have any idea that Kurt Busch may take a full-time retirement? Let us know in the comments section below, and do subscribe to our channel for more updates on NASCAR. Still, Busch was quick to say that he was likely going to take a break from full-time Cup racing soon. He said he is happy with how things are. He was getting close to the conclusion of my contract, and that whole push for a championship run, he was getting really close to that ending regardless. So it just happened a little bit faster. He believed that if you raced on a part-time basis and tried to enjoy things with a little less pressure, it would help fulfill things, and then that door would be closed. But trying to win a championship and running 36 races every weekend, week after week, was hard on his body no matter what. So this just made a small change in the plan. But he is happy with how things are going with his family, his race team, Monster, and Toyota. there will be a lot to do to keep that fire burning and write the last chapter. Busch's leaving means that Tyler Reddick will join the number 45 team a year early to replace Busch full-time. The organization said in July that it had signed the 26-year-old star driver to a contract that would start in 2024. However, an agreement with Richard Childress Racing would let him out of his commitment to the number 8 Chevrolet team for next year. Busch has become a respected leader in the sport, and he wants to help the young talent that keeps coming up. Now, together with colleagues Bubba Wallace and Reddick, he will really embrace that role in depth. He definitely had a great time working with 23XI and this great group of professionals. He is grateful for their help and the things they've done for him over the past few months. He will keep working with this group. With his unofficial PhD, he wants to share his wisdom, knowledge, and everything else he has learned in this garage area that should stay with 23XI. Also, he is looking forward to working off the track with Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick, who will join the team next year to drive the number 45 Toyota. Hamlin has said that Busch could get a seat with 23XI Racing whenever he felt ready to go back into the cockpit. With Reddick and Wallace confirmed as full-time drivers for 23XI, the team would need a third driver if Busch were to return to part-time Cup Series racing next year. Ty Gibbs, who is a regular in the Xfinity Series, will continue to fill in for Busch until the end of the year. Gibbs has done a good job filling in for Busch, but the 20-year-old rookie has had 4 DNFs. His highest finish to date was 10th, which he achieved at Michigan International Speedway. It was there that he took the lead for the first laps of his career in the Cup Series. Busch said of Gibbs, "We found a diamond in the rough." What he meant was as they have seen Tyler on track before, but now that they've really jumped into some of the telemetries, to see him on the road courses and the way that Tyler is just attacking all the time, those are the traits that they want as a top driver with our team. Even though Busch didn't make the playoffs, his Kansas win put the number 45 team from the 23XI Racing into the team owners' playoffs, in order to give the club an advantage in the postseason thanks to the experience of its older players. 23XI moved Wallace to car number 45. The number 45 made it through the first round of competition, but after the round of 12, it was eliminated from the grid for team owners. Concludingly, we as fans can only hope for Kurt Busch to return soon. What do you think about the full-time retirement of Kurt Busch? Let us know in the comments below. And that brings us to the end of the video. Feel free to let us know what you think about this video. And if you like this video, then please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Please share this video with your family and with your friends. Thank you so much for watching our video today, and we will see you in the next one.